लीजिए, अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, लाइन खाली कर दें। अपने फलकनामा पास हो रहा है, लाइन खाली कर दें। अपने फलकनामा पास हो रहा है, पूरा लाइन खाली कर दें। अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, लाइन खाली कर दें। अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है। अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, लाइन खाली कर दें। अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है।
हेलो नहीं नहीं स्पोर्ट पे मतलब जहाँ जहाँ लगाया था ना हम लोग उसी में अभी कोई चेंज वगैरह नहीं है। ओके बढ़िया नहीं बनेगा। चलो फोने आ गया उसका।
अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, लाइन खाली कर दे। अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है, अपने फलकनामा आ रहा है। अपने
बोल दीजिए बैटरी खत्म हो रहा है, खत्म हो गया, ब्लिंक कर रहा है। चलिए हो गया।
afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this press conference. You will say a few words, and after that, it's happy to take your questions.
Hello, very good to see you all. As you know, this is a very busy session of the Board of Governors with many many important issues. So, with that, let's go straight to your questions.
Any questions? Yes.
Hi, Raghida Bahna from Al Arabiya. I have the first question regarding what you just told the board about receiving plausible answer from Iran regarding one of the 3 secret locations. We heard a response from Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, has said that you have bowed to political pressure from Iran. He's also said that the IAEA might lose credibility over this. How do you respond to that? And maybe I'll wait for your answer and ask the second question.
Maybe you can.
Okay. It's also regarding the 60% enriching of uranium by Iran. Has this been now? Is this now a de facto thing that the IAEA has accepted? Because we don't hear alarm bells on this. You said that there's 100 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%. Why is this not raising more concern? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Two very important questions. Regarding the issue of Marivan, let me say that what we have informed is that we have received a response from Iran, which is plausible, and this is why we have said that we have no further questions on this particular segment of an issue which is much wider. As you know, we continue to maintain an assessment regarding this site where some very specific type of testing was conducted, and we have not changed that assessment. What we have is received a reply that is plausible, so we cannot exclude that what they are telling us may have happened, although we do not have any means to actually prove or disprove that was the case. We cannot exclude it. So then, on the qualifications that may be there, or opinions and comments on what we do, we are used to this. You know, one day is one side that says one thing, and the other day is another side. We accept this as part of our work. Our work is neutral, is impartial, is technical, and we will always say things as they are. The considerations of what this implies is not up to us, and I will never comment on government's opinions on what we do. What I can tell you is that this is technical work, and what we are saying is technically correct. Then on the 60%, well, on the reactions and why there are not more reactions about this, or then again, it's perhaps it's a question that you should put to others, not to me. What we are doing is telling the international community the exact amount of enriched uranium at that level of enrichment that exists, and it is, as you may have noted, above 100 kilograms, maybe 116, 15, something like that, at that level. And the general inventory of enriched uranium has been growing. It's around 4,500 and in different amounts We stand by our standards. We apply our standards, and if anything, in this process, which is a complex process, which you have been following, we have been strict, technically impartial, as I like to say, very firm, fair but firm. So we are not in the business of watering down or politically adapting anything. These are opinions. We do not take issue with them. We understand that there may be opinions. And without further delay, well, this is of course something on which there can be opinions. We had a joint statement agreed, as you remember, in March, presupposing that we would be implementing a number of voluntary additional monitoring and verification measures, and this is, going very slow. This is the reality. We have been doing things. This is why, and I think this is also part of my obligation. I have to report fully what is going on. It wouldn't be fair to say that nothing is happening. No, that would not be true. The reality is that we have installed some cameras. We have installed some electronic monitoring devices at some places, but there is a lot more that needs to be done. And this is why, since obviously I want to have as much capabilities, monitoring capabilities in place as soon as possible, maybe in due regard to what your colleague was asking, it's an inventory that is growing, so I think we need to be present. I think we need to be monitoring as much as we can. This is why I'm saying we need to go faster. We need to go faster.
Albert Otti, DPA, Chairman Press Agency.
Yes.
I have a question about Ukraine. On the sidelines of the Security Council meeting last week, I think you indicated that you wanted more IEA monitors or experts in Zaporizhia, and in the meantime, Moscow has also signaled that they're willing to have more people there. So exactly how many are there at any time now? How many more do you want? And additional question on that is, as part of your 5 points, you all said that one of the 5 points is that there should be no military personnel that can carry out attacks in the plant. Mm-hmm. So how are IEA experts equipped to monitor that?
Thank you very much for the question, Albert. On the issue of the number of experts, this may vary. Typically, we have 4 people. We might have a little bit more. It will depend on the type of work that we need to carry out. We welcome the comments that the management, or Russia, which is in control, in effective control of the station, would be accommodating a bigger presence. So we will decide depending on the activities that they need to carry out. Quite clearly, with 5 basic principles being established last week, we will also be assessing that against the background of the real situation. The whole point of doing this is because we consider that military activity, and in fact there's already a report about that, even today. The military activity in the area is going to be increasing, so there might be need for more. It will depend. There has been commentary about the ability of our inspectors to monitor this. I stand by what I said in New York. You may have heard. Our experts are perfectly capable of observing and reporting on the issues described in these basic principles. And with regards to the military presence, of course, we were careful in drafting this and in consulting, because these points have been consulted with the 2 sides. in characterizing them as forces that could be used to project force as opposed to security presence on the site. So that can give you an idea of what we have in mind. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Johannes Blechberger for CGTN. Regarding Japan's plans to release wastewater at Fukushima into the ocean, are there any new concerns, and how is the IAEA ensuring safety in the Pacific?
Well, the concerns that exist, you know, there are countries in the region that have expressed concerns about this plan, and we have been carrying out a very detailed and meticulous process of preparing a number of reports, and my final comprehensive report is going to be, I hope, completed in a few weeks. We just issued another one, so each one of our reports is public, so you may have an idea of what we have been doing. Of course, as the date of the final decision and perhaps start of a possible campaign of controlled discharge of this water approaches, the level of interest, concern, and perhaps even political discussion, as we are seeing at the Board of Governors, increases. There is nothing new specifically on the technical level. We are carrying out our activities as planned.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Stephanie Lichtenstein. I'm a freelancer today reporting for the Associated Press. Sorry to be asking two different questions, one on Ukraine. In case I misunderstood you, you do not have a clear idea yet at what point the number of monitors at ZNPP will be increased. Is that correct, my understanding? And my second question is about the reinstalled monitoring equipment, the ones that you have actually managed to reinstall. Do you have access as of now to that data, or an agreement at what point you will have access to that data?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for the two questions. On the at what point, well, in general, there is my idea is to reinforce ISAMS, because ISAMS will have now a wider mission, if you want. So there may be a need to reinforce the teams. The moment is not so relevant. It may be with the next rotation or with the following one. I don't consider this as a point of substantive relevance. The second, on the reinstallment of equipment and the access to the information, it's a very good point, and this is something I have raised with my Iranian counterparts. Of course, the reinstallment of the equipment is very important, having the cameras that were removed or disconnected, or the electronic monitoring devices that we may have to control and to check the enrichment levels and activity is very, very important. But it is obvious that there has been an important gap in the information, and I would characterize this as two types of gaps. In the first place, you may remember the issue is a bit complex and intricate, but it's like that. We had an arrangement as a result of one of my trips to Tehran in February 2021, when we decided that we would have all these systems, but the information itself would be kept in a very complex, convoluted way under our seals, but without us having access to that information. That is one thing, because we never had access to that information. That information, when Iran decided last summer to disconnect these systems, etc., well, it remained there. And then there is the gap, I would say. There's a gap from that point to now, where we don't have cameras, we haven't had anything. So no information, no cameras, nothing. So well, all we are saying, and I think this is common sense, basically, all right, we reconnect the cameras and we have the systems again, but in order for us to be able to reconstruct the whole picture, we need to sit down with Iran and have some way to reconstruct the jigsaw puzzle. And there may be parts that are going to be a bit more difficult because in some for this first gap, as I described it, we have the footage, so it's easier for our people to do that. But for the second part, from June 2022 to June 2023, then it's a matter that will require some other type of consultation, access to records, talking to people, making some projections, etc., etc. So in the end, we can reconstruct the picture and say, well, in this period, our gross estimate is that such and such amount of rotors and bellows, etc., have been manufactured. I hope it's understandable. If it's not, I'm sorry. I can try again.
BBC. Thank you. Councillor Noisy from BBC Television.
Yeah.
I have three questions,
Yeah.
if I may.
Yes.
First, on Prime Minister Netanyahu's statement that he says Iran is continuing to lie to the IAEA. The IAEA has capitulated to Iran's pressure, and this capitulation is a black stain on the records of the IAEA. I just wondered whether you can specifically address these allegations. One. Secondly, the issue of marijuana over there. You say there is some explanation on some aspects of what happened.
Correct.
There, and there's and you standing by what you said, and your assessment stands on other issues vis-a-vis this particular site. I just wondered whether you can actually tell us exactly what, according to you, happened in Obade that is problematic. And thirdly, the issue of the 83% enrichment that was found last time, a few months back. Are you satisfied that this was an accidental thing or a normal sort of a thing in the process, or was it more than that? Can you specify?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. As I said, I would never enter into a polemic or an argument with the head of government of any member of the IEA. They have their opinions, and what I said in my answer to Francois stands. I mean, we never politicize exercises. We have our standards. We apply them always. So, in any event, I would say the politicization is on the eye of the beholder. They may be seeing things in one way or the other, and I won't criticize that. We simply do our job in the same way, and we'll continue doing our job in the same way. And we respect comments from everyone. On Marivan Abadé, it's a long story, as you know, and what I was trying to explain is that we have a previous assessment which is well known, that in Marivan Abadé there have been a number of explosive experiments in the past for which there hasn't been any preparation for neutron detectors to be used with nuclear material at an ulterior stage, which are part of the assessment, the historic assessment that the IAEA has been having on this site. Then, as you may remember, the IAEA conducted some complementary access in 2020 or 2021, and then new traces of anthropogenic uranium were discovered, and on this particular aspect, Iran has provided us with an explanation which we characterize as plausible, not impossible. So in good faith, we cannot say that it is impossible that this happened. We don't have any additional proof. We have approached other member states which were possibly involved. in the explanation that was given by Iran, that this was part of mining activities conducting at the time of the Soviet Union, and that perhaps as part of this, some of these traces could have been originated because of a lab that was located there. That is not impossible. We don't have a way to prove this, but we cannot disprove it either. So as we conduct our work in good faith, we cannot simply for the sake of keeping something open, continue to seek what is impossible to pursue. But as I said, this is a segment of a very wide issue. So these ideas that we are closing, canceling things is not accurate, it's incorrect, all right? So I hope this is clear. And on the enrichment, yes, I think the explanation was technically correct. What we, of course, and I think is very credit to our excellent inspectors and experts that were on the spot immediately able to identify this very high degree of enrichment. We had an analysis with the technical operators of this facility, and again, this oscillation, there's an oscillation that could be at the source of this very high level. What we have said is that there hasn't been any accumulation, no storage, no production at that particular level. Incidentally, these electronic devices that we are trying to set up are very important in giving us an immediate impression of what happens in case there is another oscillation or otherwise. This is, we are something that we are monitoring permanently.
We have to move on. A question back.
Yes.
Hello, Digit.
Hello.
My question goes to your last response to my colleague.
Yeah.
Also, in your statement to the Board of Governors, you informed about the installation of the new devices in Natanz and Fordo facilities. My question is, could you tell us more about the function of the devices, and will the agency, will the IAEA have access to the data of the devices?
Yeah, yes, yes, because these are online, like an online system that allows you to read automatically or in real time the activity in a cascade or the enrichment activity. So you have direct access to it. And I think it is something that works well because it's also in the interest of Iran that we have a clear view, so there is no doubt of what is happening. In any case, we would be able, even in the absence of this, I want to say, in the absence of these systems, devices, we would be able, as we did when we found this 83.4, we would be able to do it, but this provides us with a more reliable, immediate source of information. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Wish you a good day.
Thank you very much.